But now I have to add a message. If there are those who think by removing our posters we remove our votes, let them wake up. It's not going to happen. If they think they can do these sort of things when it comes to voting, the people of LANGO and the people of Uganda are not going to take this nonsense.
MUSEVENI has started fighting Jimmy AKENA for political expedience. This comes after the UPC posters were being pushed down, those which belonged to his wife, Betty Amongi. In fact, in a clip, AKENA is seen complaining tremendously. Here is a tape.
Today we are supposed to be hearing from the president on a matter which has affected our community for a long time. And this is the issue of cattle compensation. For many of us, the cattle compensation issue is something of key importance. And it is what has brought me to Lira today, to listen and to give my position to the president. But now I have to add a message. If there are those who think by removing our posters we remove our votes, let them wake up. It's not going to happen. If they think they can do these sort of things when it comes to voting, the people of LANGO and the people of Uganda are not going to take this nonsense. And all along I have been assuring them we have been working towards a path where we're going to discuss the developments of Uganda. Now I'm here in good faith to discuss how we can resolve an issue which has plagued us since the late 80s. And this is the greeting we get from people supposed to be representing the office of the President of the Republic. They are now waging war against posters. Posters! Yet the real issue here is how do we restore the livelihoods of the people of LANGO and the people of northern Uganda? That should be the topic. That should be what we're discussing. We are now reduced to fighting posters. If this is the direction the government thinks, or the operations of those who are supposedly supporting the government, I am going to show them what politics is. I'm going to show them what substance in politics. I'm going to show them what policy is on how we can develop this country of ours. And all of us as UPC are going to live our vision for better Uganda. We are not going to be reduced to fighting posters or bickering or doing whatever. We're going to concentrate on the politics which are going to make a difference. And that's what I commit and I pledge the people of Uganda. UPC is here to make a difference. Whether you remove our posters, whether you bring intimidation, whether you try to bring police or security forces to try and stop us, this idea is not going to be stopped by the tools which you have. This idea goes beyond all of us, and to live it outlive those of us who stand. So I urge the people of LANGO to remain calm, but to remain focused. Let us not take this nonsense. It has reached a point where we have to say enough is enough. Let our voices be heard.
That is Jim AKENA complaining that the posters of UPC were being removed as MUSEVENI was going to LANGO sub-region to discuss about compensation. MUSEVENI, whenever elections are near, he doesn't want a leveled ground. In fact, whenever he goes, each and every opposition poster is put down. Personally, I'm running as an MP for Makindye East. I put up my posters. But when I think last month, MUSEVENI was touring Kampala. Everywhere he was supposed to be, posters of opposition were put down, regardless of the position. So those people doing it want to make it look like as if when he comes into place he only sees NRM posters, and they are lying to the guy that he has a lot of supposed NRM posters. This is what happens. In fact, every person who comes out to say that the MUSEVENI is a Democrat doesn't know what he's talking about. He has always done that. Everywhere he goes, in terms of in times of election, posters of opposition are put down. However, in the LANGO sub-region, there is also a fight. Because we all know Jimmy AKENA, like it or not, is a kingpin of the LANGO sub-region. Because UPC has the majority in local government, UPC has almost its representation in LANGO. And there is a master where AKENA told his wife Betty Amongi to verse the minister Acheng. And I think Among is the only person to beat Acheng because they all have money. They've been in parliament for more than 20 years. So the only person to beat Acheng will be Among. And it was a master stroke for AKENA. What AKENA is doing is solidifying his base, because politics in numbers. Let nobody ever come to lie to you that Uganda is nation. Politics is local. If you want to go further, you must solidify your base, and AKENA is doing that. And by the end of the 2026 generation, if AKENA wins the LANGO sub-region, it will come on the table strong. Even in our independence, when you see how the leaders during our independence were crafted, Obote came from LANGO sub-region. He signed a memoranda with the Mutesa from Buganda, okay, and other people from other regions, Ibingira from the Western, etc. Each one came with the support base of their home area. Okay, it's only Genome 7 who enjoys support across the country because of these things, putting out posters, imprisoning everyone, instilling fear. And at the end of the day, feels like he has support across the country. But even with that, in some areas he fails, like in the last election of Uganda, broke away. The true kingpin of the Uganda region is Bobi Wine, although Bobi Wine is still a solid opposition candidate more than any other person. In fact, my prayers are if AKENA and Bobi Wine can work together, even other opposition leaders who have genuine support, not those people who run for presidency without a true representation. And I give this example very much. For example, Amuri to run as a president, even his home area didn't vote for him. A place like Kumi was won by General Kaguta Museveni. How come that you come at the ballot without your base? So what AKENA is doing, it solidify his base. And whenever you solidify your base, you will have a place at the table. And for me, I feel very happy if people can run for presidency for as long as they can win their base. If they cannot win their base, then that becomes a burden. Okay, secondly, I think this is advice for AKENA. He did that speech putting his arms behind. Putting the arms behind is not a quality of a good leader. A good leader must express himself. Speaking while putting your hands behind shows weakness in your competitors. Look at all good orators. Okay, they don't put their hands backwards, because putting your hands backwards, it shows weakness. It shows fear. Diseased from putting your hands backward, as you see in that picture. It is wrong. If you see this video, start making speech like your pharaohs. Okay, because even in history, Obote was, like him or not, was one of the orators by that time, the best orators. He never spoke putting his arms behind like you do now. He never did putting his arms behind. He never did, trust me. He spoke showing his hands, because showing your hands, it puts you in the power of greatness, not weakness. Okay? It puts you in the power of weakness. In fact, here is Obote.
You just can't come from London and end up somewhere in Uganda and say, I'm now president. The issue of whether Lule wants to be president, Benaisa wants to be president, Museveni wants to be president, who else? Zemogere wants to be president, must rest with the people of Uganda. But if they don't want your vote, if they don't want to approach you, why should you accept it?
That is Obote. So the things AKENA is speaking about and what AKENA is building, it is towards a good direction. However, you still have a burden that your minister, your wife is still a minister. That is a burden that you would answer if you want to work together with the opposition. And even without that, even her being a minister, her posters are being put down. It shows you the contempt Genome 7 has. It shows you the contempt Genome 7 has. Because Genome 7 saw that by 2026 there will be no opposition. So he wants to infiltrate everything. Okay? But even away from that, a video clip circulated when posters were being put down. In fact, here's the tape. That is the video which was saturated, showing how posters were being put down. The posters which were for Betty Among. But that has always been the issue. Everywhere Gen 7 goes, Kampala, they defaced very many posters. Remember, posters are resources. You print posters worth 10 million, and if someone comes out in one night to pull them down, that is 10 million gone. Okay, so those are the bad manners of the regime, because they don't want a level ground, they don't want democracy. Yet they keep on organizing election. So for me, I think AKENA is on the right track, as it looks. I don't know what he has in her heart, but it is on the right track. Only I pray that every person who has genuine support, we must come together to host this dictatorship. Of course, that's my opinion. I remain yours truly, Mr. Makindi, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagari, the next MP for Makindi East constituency. I will see you on another one. Peace.
Yes, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagari. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makindi East constituency, so that I can represent the great people of Makindi East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Here,